Hello everybody and welcome to the introductory video for the start of my Crusader Kings 2 LP. The reason I'm doing this introductory video as a separate entity to part 1 of the LP itself is for those of you who are not interested in the backstory to my character, or are not interested in taking part in the LP itself and having an influence on how the campaign may be shaped. And it's for those of you mainly who want to just jump in straight away to part 1 without any of this preamble. So if that is you, then skip to the next part, which will be the start of the LP, which will be part 1. But for those of you who are interested in immersing yourself in this campaign, then listen on. I don't think this introductory video will take longer than about 10 minutes. So, first things first, I suppose, the LP itself. Now, first of all, I would just like to say that I had to consider how I was going to tailor my LP. And when I say that, I mean, am I just going to play it out and assume everybody knows how to play the game? Or am I going to play it with those people in mind who don't know anything about the game? A lot of people have not played this game and are intimidated by its complexity, and therefore I think at least in the early parts of the game, what I'm going to do is I'm going to assume that you don't know the features of the game, and I'm going to go through not in a meticulous way, but if I do something, I'm going to try my best to explain what I've done and how the feature of the game works. As I say, just for the first few parts, so that people who are not used to the game or do not know what the game's about can look at these early parts and almost use it as a sort of guide to help them if they want to purchase the game and play it for themselves. Because I know myself that I was persuaded to buy this game not by what people were telling me, but by an LP that I watched of somebody playing it who specifically took their time and explained all the different functions and how they worked, and that sucked me in, and it provided me with some knowledge about the game before I'd even played it myself. So that's what I'm going to do here. Also, the LP is going to be an RP based type LP. Now what that means is I'm not going to be playing out my characters in such a way that I'm going to try and make the best choice every time. A lot of people always put critical comments about decisions that I make, especially in RP based LPs. You shouldn't do that, it's not good, you know, you're shooting yourself in the foot. Maybe I probably know that I am shooting myself in the foot, but the reason why I'm making these choices is because I'm coming at it from an angle from my character, and especially in this type of game where there is a lot of RP opportunities, especially with your character's traits. That is how I'm going to do it. So whatever traits my character has, that will influence the decisions that I make in the game itself. So if my character's greedy or you know, he's got some really bad traits, then he's going to be a bad leader and he's going to make bad decisions. Yes, they may break the game in terms of they may lead me to destruction, it may lead to the crumbling of my dynasty, it may lead to game over. But if that is how it is, that is how it is. So my decisions will be made based upon my character's traits. And that is how they will interact with people, and that is how they will set laws, and that is how they will make decisions in terms of taxes, in terms of imprisoning people, in terms of who they're going to invade. So the campaign will be shaped basically by the game. It will be almost like I am a passenger myself to the campaign. So that is how the game will work. Now the game will also be very slow. Very rarely do I crank up the speed to maximum to skip through things. It will be going at a slow pace so that I'm going to take the time to read through the character trees and to see how the various people interact with each other, because it's like a saga, is this? A lot of backstabbing going on, a lot of plotting and scheming, and to just focus solely on my own character, I'm going to miss out on a lot of story, a lot of development, and that's the whole reason this game is so good. It's because of all of that. So I'm going to, where possible, be looking at various other family members, family trees, and seeing how each of my counts and dukes and kings are interacting with each other, just to see where it all fits in the grand scheme of things. So that's a little bit about the campaign itself and how it's going to work. So where do you guys fit into this then? So what I've done over on my forums, a link will be posted in the description of the topics in question here, but there's going to be two topics. The first topic is going to be almost like an RP topic, if you will. My Total War games have all had RP sections where people get involved in the campaign through a family member or through a created character. Although this isn't going to be so rigid and so strict, there is a topic posted in the forums that is asking for people's advice and opinions. If you have got some advice, some opinions on what I should do, some strategy for my campaign, you can head over to that topic and either post it as yourself, or if you want to increase your immersion in the campaign itself, you can create a character, a noble, a member of my court, whatever it be, and post your advice that way. Hopefully then a few people will do the same, and we might get a bit of an RP going on, just a bit of a casual, less formal RP with people bantering between each other and posting ideas for what I should do to further my my campaign. So that's the first topic that you might want to check out when the campaign starts. The second topic is a chronicle, if you will. This campaign is going to run for an indeterminate amount of time. It's going to end when I feel that it's come to a natural ending point. Whether that's when I don't have a set goal in mind, so we're just going to roll with it until I feel it's time to draw the curtain down. That's the beauty of this game. You set your own goals, and I will do that in due course. But in the meantime, whilst the campaign is playing out, I think it's a perfect opportunity, a perfect game for somebody to chronicle the events, so that once the campaign is finished, we can look back on it and see what happened. See which rulers were the greatest, see which rulers made glaring errors, see who was responsible for the dynasty crumbling on itself, or who was responsible for the dynasty becoming the most powerful dynasty in the world. And it doesn't have to be War and Peace, it doesn't have to be a long story-based text, but if somebody would be willing, just at the end of each set of updates, to look through what happened and just bullet point the key incidents of the update. You know, if he got married, if he had a couple of children, if he made a treaty with somebody, whatever that key moment might have been, just to chronicle it in bullet point form in the topic that I've created. And just do that after every set of updates. So once the campaign is finished, as I say, we can look back and just have a look at the events, what happened in history, because this is like we are changing history here. It's like we're having an alternative history to England, I suppose, from the sort of time of King William the Conqueror. So that is the two ways that a lot of people can get involved here. Through the suggestion an RP-based sort of strategy topic that I've created, and also if you are interested in chronicling the events that happens in the campaign, send me a personal message, and I'll see how many people are willing to do it, and then I'll choose at least 2 people to start chronicling the events. But I will sort that out more in detail once you've messaged me with your interest. So that's how you can get involved. So the final piece of the puzzle then is the campaign itself. Now this campaign is not going to be starting from scratch. It's going to be starting from a certain point in time. Now this character that I have created a character already, and this character was created a few months ago because I was going to do an AAR of the game. However, that AAR didn't sort of finish because of the fact that due to time constraints, I didn't end up finishing it. So what I have done, because I don't like to leave things unfinished, I've decided to carry on the AAR as an LP with the character that I created at the very start. That character is called George Fleming. He's a Count of Cornwall, and what I will do now is just give you a brief backstory about how the Count of Cornwall has come to be in his current situation. If you would prefer to read the AAR posts in full to get a better understanding of what's happened, I will post the link in the description. And once the story is complete, that is where we will start the LP. Arise, George Fleming. George Fleming was little more than an orphan boy, wandering the streets of Bodmin, looking for scraps of food to keep him going through the day. On the 24th of August 1070, King William the Conqueror, the newly conquering King of England, visited Bodmin, a town within the county of Cornwall, as part of his tour to win the people round to their new king. Delivering a speech to a gathered crowd, a man ran out bearing a dagger, intent on killing the new conquering king, and it was the swift actions of George Fleming that led to the would-be assassin's interception. George Fleming saved the King of England that day, and as a reward was granted the title of Count of Cornwall. What a day! From orphan boy to count, his life would be forever changed. Of course, George was not au fait with ruling, but he had to become quickly acclimatized. There was now a new world open up to him. Marriage, political intrigue, diplomacy, running the day-to-day business of your county, collecting taxes, setting rules and laws, all of this was new, but he became quickly accustomed to such life. So much so, and so efficient was his running of his county, that once again King William the Conqueror bestowed upon him a further title, and that was Chancellor of England. As a way to pay back King William the Conqueror, George converted to the Norman culture as a way to honour his liege. In addition to that, he got married to Emma de Crepon, the daughter of a fellow count of slightly more power and age in nearby Hereford. Unfortunately for King William the Conqueror, not everybody was as pleased as George to see him on the throne of England, and thus civil war broke out with several counties vying for independence. Once again, King William the Conqueror came knocking on George's door, requiring further assistance. And it was George, along with fellow counts that were loyal to the king, who led various armies to try and quell any potential rebellions. York, Leicester, Northumbria, but to name a few of the counties that rose up in an attempt to pull themselves away from the rule of King William. And one by one, their efforts were quashed. Emma is now pregnant with George's first child, and he eagerly awaits to see the outcome of the sex. Will he have himself a male heir? This is truly the start of the Fleming dynasty. Will it be a dynasty that will be remembered throughout history, or will it be a dynasty that peters out into nothingness? Find out as we now take up the LP. Enjoy.